that slowly kills you, bruises that won't heal. Welcome to another installment of Git Good Songwriting. Today we're going to be analyzing, no surprises, forgot what the song was called for a second, by Radiohead. It has one chord in particular that I really want to look at today, and you've heard it already. It happens right here in the intro riff. Not this one, but this one. You get it one note after another. Kind of reveals itself one note at a time. Once you've wallowed in the D major tonality for a second, all of a sudden you get this like one note at a time. Okay, we get a G, and then we get whoa, whoa, whoa. What is this beautiful chord? Comment if you know. But I'll start at the beginning. This riff is in D major. This chord is not in D major, but it is in the riff. So what's going on? So basically, in the key of D major, we have 7 chords, like in any other key. We got D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, and then we get a weird one. We get C sharp diminished, back to D, C sharp diminished, B minor, A major, G major, F sharp minor, E minor, D major. That's the whole scale of D major. And you'll notice that we had a G major chord in there. If I play all these chords down here instead, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same thing. And hey Eddie, what's up? We're learning music theory. Now, what happens in here is that instead of getting a G major chord, which is the chord that will be native to the key of D major, we get a G minor chord. And the interesting thing about this is that the reason a G minor chord doesn't belong in a D major scale, strictly speaking, is that a D major scale is made up of D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. And one of those notes was B, natural. A G major chord consists of G, B, and B natural. Blessings to you too, brother. Whereas a G minor chord, triad, consists of G, D, and B flat, as opposed to B natural. So you have this one note in this chord that doesn't belong to the scale. And this is an example of what's called modal interchange. Hi Natalie, what's up? It's when you borrow a note from a parallel tonality and kind of just jam it into the tonality that you're in already. So in this example, we get a B flat, which is to be found in a D minor scale. It's right here. Whereas in a D major scale, we get B natural. D minor scale, we get a B flat. So that's the difference. So we get this one little borrowed chord from D minor, and because D minor sounds darker than D major, at least according to most people you ask on the street, we get this little surprisingly dark sound in between here. So instead of we get B flat as opposed to B natural. But it doesn't end there, because this isn't just minor chord. This is a G minor chord with a D in the bass. The D stays in the bass. So we get a D major, then we get a G minor with a D in the bass, except it's not just a G minor with a D in the bass, it's a G minor 6 with a D in the bass. Here's a 6. If you want to make your 4 minor chord even prettier, I'm not a lefty, the video must be mirrored. If you want to make your 4 minor chords even prettier, then just add the 6 on top of there. That is the 9th scale degree in whatever key you're in, the 1 chord, and then you add the 4 minor chord, and you add the 6 on top of there, and it just makes it extra pretty. Just notice the difference between this and this. Having that E natural on that chord just makes it that much prettier. And that's your tip. Another example, let's transpose this to G major, for example. We get a 1 chord and then we get 4 minor chord. So normally the 4 chord in G major scale is a C major chord. But instead of a C major, let's make it a C minor. And now let's add the 6 on top of there. Instead of, you get, and then you sustain the G pedal in the bass, you get Mr. Beasley, I'm glad that you're connecting with what I'm talking about here. And that is today's installment of Get Good at Songwriting. Add sixths to 4 minor chords and make them very pretty. And if you want to study music from me, or if you want to check out my own music, check out what kind of music I can make with all the music theory knowledge I have, links for that are in the description. If you're on Instagram, just comment yes and I'll send them over. So, see you same time next week, lovelies. Bye.